Whoever looked at your life and thought there has to be more? Welcome to the Corporate Escapists podcast, where stories change lives. This is a space for bold women rewriting the rules, building businesses with soul, and choosing legacy over likes. If you're ready to be seen, heard, and valued, you're in the right place. Hello and welcome to the Corporate Escapists TV show and podcast. I'm your host, Christine Innes. Can I just say how freaking excited I am to have both of you on here today. So we've got the beautiful Roz and Matt from Logan City Trophy. Thank you so much for being here and joining us on the show today. Look, I have just finished putting your article together for the next issue of Inspire magazine and found out so much, and I just love the fact that you are so into helping community boost people and just making it people shine. So I know that we've got so much in common. Most people who know and listen to the show know I get so carried away. So I'm going to pause for a moment. I'm going to hand it over to Roz or Matt, to share a little bit about the beautiful Logan City Trophy, and then we can dive into some beautiful conversation.
All right.
Matt, do you want me to go, or do you want to
go? You can go, babe. Go for it.
We go?
Yeah.
Well, I'm Ross, and Matt owns Logan City Trophy Centre, and I guess I describe myself as his biggest champion. So I support the business behind the scenes and just help to shape where it's going. So the business specialises in trophies, engraving, awards, custom pieces. But I guess for me, what he really does is he helps people celebrate and recognise those important moments. So whether it's a sport, work, or something that's really personal, that's our focus. And from my perspective, what I've seen watching Matt run the business is just how much meaning sits behind what he and the others create that work there. It's not just trophies, it's kids receiving their first awards, teams celebrating wins, families creating memorable pieces. So there's a lot of emotion tied to that, which is pretty exciting. And just to see the look on people's faces when they're really pleased with what they have, I know it means a lot to Matt. He often feels quite nervous before people pick things up, because he wants to make sure they're happy with them. So while I'm not there front of house every day, for me, it's probably more about supporting Matt, helping him with the decisions, bossing him around in the background, stepping in when it's busy, and just being that sounding board when things get difficult.
I love
so
it.
Small businesses, yeah, some of you might have small businesses out there, but it's there's a lot of emotion tied to it. It's having someone in your corner that really matters and other people that you can talk through it. It's been a really big learning curve for us, hasn't it, Matt?
Oh, absolutely. Like going from not even really knowing about the industry whatsoever, and just what's really helped to is the community's got behind us. Our customers have like, oh, yeah, we're right there with you. We'll let you know, and things like that. And they're open and honest with us rather than just go, oh, yeah, that'll do, and go away. They'll say, oh, we want it like this. And that's one of the things that I really pride on, is to get what they want and help them to really personalize their piece, which is, yeah, it touches me when I get it right, especially some of these. They have a fair few ceremonial pieces and things, and little plaques representing their loved ones and things like that. So that's really touching as well, that and making sure that they get walk away happy and get exactly what they want.
Yeah.
I think for me, the funeral badges are something that you can get that can be quite emotional, because we've had a real run on them lately where people are wanting their pictures, a picture of the person on there, and some of them are so young. It's quite shocking, really, to be doing these badges with a picture of this really, 24-year-old person or someone who's really quite young. And I guess in your normal life, you don't really see that a lot. So it can get quite emotional sometimes.
I always say that going into business is like emotion plus personal development.
Yeah.
we actually have so much emotions within ourselves that we actually didn't realize. But I always say it's the biggest personal development journey you will ever go on. Like, has that been like what you've both experienced?
Well, it's
Oh,
certainly been
yes.
a lot of tears for me, especially when we first started. And a very large telecommunications company, who I will not name, but I wish I would, just messed everything up with our phones. And I think I cried for a week just trying to
Mm.
get them to do something. And it was just a nightmare, especially trying to get your head around what actually you're required to do day to day. We decided to take it over in the busiest month because we wanted to get the cash to help us to go through the generally quiet period at the next part of the financial year, like at the beginning of the year where it tends to be a bit quieter. And it was absolutely a baptism by fire, wasn't it, babe?
Oh, yeah. Just the trying to do the engraving and serve customers at the same time and learn how to do the engraving all in one all in one go. I've had most of my life is face-to-face customer service.
Mhm.
So that side of it didn't really faze me. And it was just a matter of getting what they wanted and knowing where to get it from, which is pretty straightforward once you've been in that situation many times before. But it's the didn't realize the amount of time it took to do things, and which really that's where a lot of the tears came from, a lot of frustrations. But in a previous business, which was a little cafe restaurant that I've run before, I've been in those high pressure situations, and it was just like, right, you just got to keep calm, keep going, do what you can,
Yeah.
and just keep going, just keep
Yeah.
swimming, as we used to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the like a trait about yourselves that you've learned since going into business that you may like or may have not realized is like a strength as well?
Um, to when you hit a certain um peak in frustration or when you get hit that stress level, to recognize that and take a step back and
Yeah.
go, okay, what is it I'm trying to achieve? What is it? Where can I go? Um, and lay it all out.
Yeah.
Um, and just assess. And the biggest thing, and one of the things I love most about um, my relationship with Roz, is that we talk a lot. And even when the inevitable argument happens, whether it be frustration or something's actually gone wrong properly and whatever, is that we can talk about it. Even after that we can separate, heat of the moment's gone, and we can discuss things. And that's one of the biggest things I've learned about myself, is to take a step back and knowing um, that Roz and I will reconnect and evaluate the situation and go, what was the cause? Where do we go? How do we overcome? How do we stop this happening again?
Yeah.
Mm.
And and it's always great to know that in the back of your head, she's always going to be there.
Yeah, I can tend to be a very strong personality. So I try to step back, which is what I've done this year, is I'm focusing more on other projects and just letting Matt run the business without me sort of being there to give an opinion and just let him find his own way. And I think that's been a really good development thing for me, is just to sort of step back and not um, take too much control, but sort of so at the beginning of the year I've taught him how to use Xero and how to do the pays and all that sort of thing, which I was managing all in the background, and then I could was have been freed up to do other things, which has certainly helped with my stress levels. I'm not sure about yours, but this is the perfect opportunity to do it when it's a bit calmer, and he has that space to be able to learn during this time of the year.
Yeah. I mean, I've had the pleasure of working with you. I mean, you do the awards for the Inspire Awards, so I'm super, super grateful for that. And one thing that I do love the way that you communicate with each other, because I think a lot of people, when couples are working together in business, they forget that it's business, but then there's your own communication style, like for your relationship as well. And sometimes the two need to have like a line between the sand, I guess, like how you would talk in your relationship, or, it's sometimes going to be different of how you talk in business, because you want to get the results, you want to, have those outcomes. Have you noticed your communication style has changed a little bit as well?
Yeah, I normally just say, well, we need to see where the business is going at the moment, or let's just have a look at our profit and loss, or let's make sure that we check how we're going with our cash flow right now, and we actually make a time to do it. Like, we don't generally do it right then and there. We'll do our other things, and then we'll meet up, and then we'll talk about business bits and pieces. So I think we've tried to separate that a little bit from our personal goings on and things like that. So that's something that I've noticed that we've done this year, particularly because I've taken a bit of a step back, and I've just said to him, "You call me in when you start to feel it's getting too much. Then you bring me in." So this year he has two staff that are with him, two casuals that are with him 4 days. So that's made a huge difference, because it sort of fills the gap where I was, and allows him to get involved more in the administration in the background.
Yeah. And I will have to add that I don't know how I would have done it if Roz hadn't set up Zero the way she has. I just want to put that on record, that it's been marvelous. Yeah, it's just made it a lot, like, knowing the struggles that she went through to start off with, and knowing how I've got to do it now is, yeah, so much easier.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ross.
Well, then
I'll just put that on
I'll
record.
just add then that I couldn't have done it without AI, because I sat there with AI saying, "I don't understand. Explain to me a chart of accounts. Help me to understand, why does it have to be in that category? If you were a trophy centre, how would you set up the money? How would you set up the accounts?" And so I've sort of followed that process.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
awesome.
what helped me. And then I would always get AI just to explain to me what things meant, so that I could make sure I was putting things into the right categories.
Yeah. Yeah. I love AI.
Yeah.
I love
So
it.
anyway, huge learning
It's my
curve there.
personal
That's for sure.
assistant. I use it as my personal
Yeah,
assistant
absolutely.
to do it.
Yeah.
One thing, the common theme that when I was reading your articles, and the questions that we asked for, inside the Inspire magazine, and I know community is such a strong, point with you, but is that also part of your value system as well, like personally, not just as a business, but as a person?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
I think I've always,
very much. We try and help out
yeah,
wherever we can.
yeah, absolutely. We've always been helpers. And so, like, we're members of the Yandina Bowls Club up here on the Sunshine Coast. And, like, we just spent the weekend supporting their Opens Fours Carnival, cooking eggs at 5 in the morning. So we've always been sort of that way focused, haven't we? But it's always been about helping others.
Yeah,
For me, I guess it's all about helping others grow. So I don't necessarily do things for others, but I'll teach people how to do things for themselves. So I just always remember that, teach a man to fish. Oh no, give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man to fish, feed him for his life. And so I've always sort of had that type of personality. So, for example, with my daughter, she wanted fun money to do things. So I ended up putting her on an allowance. And so she would get a certain allowance, but she had to pay for everything herself, her clothes, her bus fares, her dog food, all those sorts of things. And then that taught her the value of money. But then she didn't get any fun money. So the only way she could get her fun money was to sell things. So she would sell eggs from the chooks. She would breed guinea pigs and rabbits. She had little succulents that she'd sell on Gumtree. And so she started running little businesses, and now she runs her own business as a cleaner. So that's my type of personality, is to teach someone how to go and do it for themselves.
Yeah. What about you, Matt? Because I know community, obviously, if for people who don't know, Logan always has had a bad reputation, but the community spirit, because there is lots of different cultures inside Logan itself, I think, those cultures have their own communities as well. And to bring them together with, trophies, it's actually really quite a special thing.
Yeah, and just to be involved in that, and it's been lovely with a lot of them actually inviting us to their carnival days and things like that. And yeah, but yeah, helping out where we can. Um, and as far as the um what we can do to facilitate their days and events, um, and trying to meet their deadlines and things like that, and then come up with other ways in which we can present what they're after, and sometimes tracking down really good deals for them as well, which really helps. Uh, but yeah, on a personal note, yeah, I've always been wanting to help people. Or one of clubs I've been involved with, I used to play cricket a fair bit, got into coaching and things like that, just unpaid or work. It's just fun helping people, especially get fit, especially these days, and just encouraging people to better themselves.
Mm,
And yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically where I am.
yeah. I loved it
Talking
also.
about Logan as
No, go for
So
it.
I was just going to add that Logan's changing too. There's a huge shift in Logan at the moment. There's house prices are just absolutely going crazy right now, and people are the demographic of people that are coming in now are the higher paid. It's the reputation, while it precedes it, it's definitely changing, and it's hugely multicultural, which I absolutely love. And there's so many different and varied people that live there, but also a whole new group of highly paid people who are now coming into that area, building houses and doing up houses. And so there is a huge demographic shift at the moment happening as well.
Yeah,
But I
we
think one of the
don't
things I
recognize.
love is this.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that
I was
no,
going
the
to say the sport.
multicultural area is
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful, absolutely
Mm,
beautiful.
mm. Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
love it.
gorgeous, gorgeous people.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And look, I know, I think even from a business aspect, like it's not recognized. Like there's a lot of successful businesses in Logan itself that are running like their head office from there as well. And one of the things that I loved, what you're sharing is that, people forget that the trophy is the ornamental part of it, but it's that the recognition of the person behind it. And it's, the businesses that are creating these awards, to recognize their staff, to actually say thank you so much, like we appreciate you.
Yeah,
And then the person receiving it and all the hard work and effort that's gone on behind the scenes to actually, receive that award as well. There's so many different layers to awards that people are not seeing. It's not just
yeah.
the end trophy. It's the
Mm,
12 months or so leading up to receiving it.
mm.
What is your favorite part with working with, either businesses or the sporting clubs? Is it the stories? Is it, getting to know them on a personal level? Like, what's your favorite part about the trophy industry?
For me, it's definitely interacting with the customer. And I've yeah, mate, I reckon I've made a few good friends out of it, just to especially in the cricket clubs, because we talk cricket all the time, but also with some of the other multicultural communities that are coming through for us as well. And it's just, yeah, that's where I've really enjoyed it, is getting to know them and their story. Then it's always great seeing them come back and just interact and go, oh, how did your event go and all that, and then if and then they just the excitement of what we offer them and that they can pass on to their people. So yeah, that's really that's one of the things that makes it worthwhile,
Yeah.
is really interacting with them.
Yeah. What about you, Roz?
I think it's helping them get what they want. Like they often come in and don't really know what they want. And so, sort of talking them through what they're looking for so that they can find that special recognition for someone. I think that's really, really nice. And then we had one school last year that just had so many different facets of bits and so many different bits and pieces that they needed for their business, and they were calling us 3-4 times a day trying to get all these, all different teachers trying to get all the bits and pieces that they need. And so I really enjoyed getting involved in that particular school. Like I took that whole school on and said, any call for them that from them will come to me, and I'll just sort them all out. And so that was really quite unique, wasn't
Mm.
it, Matt? We don't have that with any other, not that to that extent anyway. So that was really enjoyable. And then when I went to deliver them, I took them personally myself, and there were several deliveries, might I add, but the very last one. And then they actually came and got me and took me through the whole school and showed me around and got me to
Oh,
meet everybody that had been purchasing the trophies so I could meet them. And so that was really special.
I love
Hmm.
that. I mean, I've had the privilege.
So
Like,
it's
I
all
mean,
about
I walked.
relationships.
It is because I walked in there like going, I won an awards for, the Inspire Awards, and you're like, I know we can do this and this, and it was custom made, and like I loved it because you got to also come along on the journey of what we were creating for the recipients as well. And I'm so grateful you got to be there to actually experience what the awards were all about and see the people receiving it, because I think, it's for me, it's more than just the trophy. It's more than, like you're saying, the relationships. It's almost like that's their legacy piece that they actually get to show off, and then they can share that to their kids. They can share it to their grandkids, and it's an everlasting piece for them, and it's part of their story now as well. They can go, remember when I got this award, and like I still even have my son, swimming trophies and like carnival trophies, and I think that's the beautiful part of it. It's a legacy piece, and it's part of their ever-growing story for them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty
Mm.
special, really.
It is, isn't it?
We've seen a
When you
lot
think
of
about it.
like retail stores that, yeah, they just other you see other stores and you can just tell sometimes when they're just in it for the money. And I just think when you're in a community, particularly like Logan, there's more to it than just a retail sale. There's a life that these people are living in the background. There's things that matter to them. And I guess moments that matter is kind of our motto, isn't it, Matt, for those moments that
Yeah,
matter? Because it matters, those funeral badges matter. People are going to be wearing them because they're honouring somebody that mattered. And, when those people get those trophies, that matters to that young child
mm.
or that older person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
recognition you give to like staff is one of the things that I've in my last business were really focused on as well, because a lot of the time that is pushed to the side a bit with the just got to make sure that they're recognized. So I'm always really happy when businesses come in and go, oh, these are all the awards, and even the little funny awards that they would hand out is just it's just really good to see. And I'm really, really happy to do it and spend the time to um, focus on them and get them what they want and what will make them happy, even suggesting other different things to make it a little bit better.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a recognition is key.
Yeah, absolutely. If you could look back on your business journey, what would be the piece of advice that you would have given yourself back then, that what you know now?
You don't need to cry so much. It all works itself out.
Yeah.
Yes, that
Breathe,
that would be it.
breathe.
Yeah.
That would be a big one is breathe and reassess. It will be all right. And especially in our journey, people understand.
Yeah.
And as long as you're honest with them, they will understand. And yeah, and if you're genuine in what you're producing and what you're offering, yeah,
Yeah,
people will
absolutely.
love that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think integrity and honesty is like a crucial piece in anyone's business plan with it. Be upfront, honest, what you want to do, what's the goal, outcome, and then just be honest on their way. Like, I mean, I've published magazines and books that have got spelling errors and stuff like that. And I'm like going, you know what? Like I told you, I failed English. So, like it's crazy. Like I'm honest with people going, this is what but it's the heart and soul that I want to bring out, for it. And I know that you guys are, very much the same. Like integrity is such a key part of your business, when you're dealing with people.
Mm. And we had a little um, saying last year that was we weren't going to say no to anybody. And I think we pretty much honoured that, didn't we? Like we were
Yeah.
told when we sort of took over the business that, it's okay to say no. Sometimes you just can't do it. And I just said, no, we're not going to say no. We're just going to put on more staff. So we'll try and meet every
Yeah.
need that we can. And we did. And we did it without the year before we were working 11-hour days. We were absolutely
Oh.
exhausted. And then this year we
And the
didn't do that
rest,
at all, did we?
90,
And the rest,
some of them were 19-hour days, 7 days a
19-hour
week.
days. What did I say? 11-hour days.
Yeah.
19-hour days. Yeah. And it
So
was just, and we were just completely exhausted. And this year, I don't think definitely didn't work any 19-hour days, did we? We just
no.
got people to
And
come in and help us.
yep. And yeah, we knew got into the business, learnt our structure, got our systems running, and were able to pass that on to our staff and just, okay, this is what a clear goal, clear expectations, and go from there, but also freedom to let them express themselves as well. Say, oh, is this, question us on things as well of is this right and things like that, and making sure that it's everyone's project in the end when it goes
Yeah.
out, and making sure that they're also proud of what's coming out, not just another cog in the machine.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think like a lot of times, like in businesses, like I look, I've even been very guilty of this. You bring somebody on and you go, no, this is how it is. But them having a different, like an outside of, insight into it, they might actually see how something could be done a little bit better with it, and just allowing them to, express that, because they could make the business like, well, I mean, one of my processes has been completely changed because they've seen it and they've gone, oh, I can change this and make it quicker. I'm like, oh, yes, please. Thank you so much. So like, I'm always open to that. But when your business can also be your baby and you sort of want to have a lot more control on it. But, allowing that insight gives you the freedom in your business too.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, always seriously look at what someone else has suggested. It doesn't mean you have to take it on.
Yeah.
Just have a look at it. And sometimes there is that first response of, no, it's mine. What are you doing? I don't want to change it. I don't care what you say. But yeah, sometimes little insights lead a long way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Is there, for people who are watching this, because obviously they're in business, what would be a piece of advice that if somebody is just starting a business that you wish, or maybe you've got told when you first started your business, that has been like the golden nugget sort of thing?
Well, it would depend on, like, I've had a business where I more or less started from scratch. And well, started behind the eight ball because it had a bad name. And in that situation, I'd say little steps, don't overcapitalize. And if you are trying something new within the business, start small and see how it grows. Don't just jump in, invest a lot of capital into it just to see what happens. that would be my big takeaway of any business venture would be little steps, see how it takes off, and let it grow rather than trying to force it to grow and see where your customer base is at. For instance, we had it was called the Pancake Train in Tasmania, and it was literally on a train, and we sold pancakes out of it. And we tried to do dinners. My sister was a chef, so we did some upmarket and quite restaurant quality food. Didn't go anywhere because they weren't there for that. They were there for the pancakes, and they were there for the experience of that childhood experience that they had with pancakes and things, and not this restaurant fancy food. So we pulled back out of that. So luckily enough, once again, we didn't go full on with it. We just tested the market and see what happened. And that would be, my big advice would, if you're going to change something, start small and let it grow.
Yeah.
And just don't go too big that you can't come back from it, and know when to say no and cut, and have those goals in place before you start.
Yeah. What about you, Roz?
I think for me, if you were thinking of buying a business, make sure you look at all the paperwork that they provide. They provide you, and make sure that it's actually making money, and whether that amount of money is sufficient to at least pay your wage plus some more. If not, and they're just selling it like as a shell that's only doing small amounts, you just have to decide if that's something you're just going to do on the side, because it's not going to actually, because then it requires you to have the vision to do all the extra things that you need to do. So with Logan City Trophy Centre, we bought it because it was a profitable running business. And so we already had the clients. And so you don't have to start it from scratch. And so that made it a lot easier for us in the long run, because all we had to do was just to prove that we could do it. So our first year last year, which was our yes year, was to show them that we can do it. And those repeat customers can see that they can trust us. And so that was the purpose of last year. If I was to give any advice to a business that's currently running, I would just say, if you're focusing on the dollars, and if you're only focusing on what you can make out of it, then you might need to rethink. You might need to rethink, because that's not the best approach. If you're not thinking about the people, and if you're not thinking about the community, and you're not thinking about what you can grow and learn from it, then I think your focus is out of whack, and people will know when they come in.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm a big fan of both of you. Love what you're doing, bringing in the community with it. I've got 4 questions that I'm going to ask. So I'm going to start with you, Matt. Do you have a favorite motivational quote?
Oh, it's not really motivational. It's more, and it is from a movie, and it's just breathe.
Yes.
And it's when everything gets too much, and you go, how can I do this? Just breathe,
Yeah. Yeah,
because you
absolutely.
will find a way.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. What about a book that you would recommend people to read? Or maybe you're a movie. Maybe you're the movie guy. Like a movie that somebody could
Um,
watch.
well, well, Rich Dad Poor Dad
Yeah.
was one of the ones that set me in a business mindset. And The Richest Man in Babylon.
Mhm.
Um, those ones set me in the business sort of tone
Yeah.
and sort of mindset. Um, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't really have a
No,
movie that would really get
that's
onto it.
okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. What about any inspirational person that we should all be following?
Well, I was going to say my inspirational person is Roz, um, and not being because she's my wife, just because she is. She can't walk past someone without trying to help that's in need. Um, but as yeah, sorry, I actually don't know
That's
who
okay.
would
That's
someone that
okay.
would be follow.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Is there
I,
someone who you think we should have on the podcast?
um, sorry, I can't answer that one either.
That's
I'm not.
okay. You're going to get off and you're going to message me going, oh my God, these are, that is no problems. I put you on the spot, so that's all fine. And Ross, you've got a little bit of an game ante now, I guess you could call it, because you
An
heard the
edge.
questions. So do you have a favorite motivational quote?
Mine would be from Mary Kay, because I used to sell Mary Kay cosmetics for over 20 years. Drive around a little pink car. So mine was one of hers, which was shoot for the moon, and if you miss, at least you land among the stars.
Yeah, I love
In
that.
terms of a book, I would probably say yes, Rich Dad Poor Dad was a turning point for me as well, and especially his by Robert Kiyosaki, and it's his board game Cash Flow Quadrant, which I would recommend anybody buys. It teaches you to stop focusing on just making money day to day and getting your wage, and looking for ways that you can actually get out of the rat race and earn passive income so that you can so that you don't have to rely on a wage. And I think that it's a lot of fun too, actually, because you're given you are a certain you have a certain job, like you might be a mechanic or a lawyer or whatever, and then you get certain income and expenses, and it just teaches you to think about money differently. So I think that would be my book. In terms of motivational person, it would be Matt. Matt, because he has this unique way of dealing with people that I don't have, that he can tolerate's probably not the right word, people that I can't, because he has this this patience and this understanding and a way of just allowing people to be themselves, which I can struggle with sometimes, and just with no judgments, which is really nice to be married to, because then I can just be myself. But he can't. No, I'm just kidding. Kind of. And then, of course, yourself, Christine, because just seeing what you're doing with the Inspire Awards and what you're doing out there just to recognise people is just so unique and wonderful. That when you first came in, I think when you walked out, I said to Matt, she's going to change the way that we do things here. Because, and then when we went to your Inspire Awards, my brain just exploded with happiness, because I'd been involved in other things, and this was just so special, just seeing people rewarded and honoured for just doing things to help communities and people, was just so beautiful. So you can't go without mention.
Oh, thank you.
And then someone from the podcast, I don't know, like there's a lady, Megan, I know, whose last name I can't remember to save myself. Megan, what is her last name? I was just trying to look her up in my inbox, who I've had quite a bit to do with in terms of money management. And she would be lovely to come and have on your. Yeah,
Wolfenden?
Wolfenden, that's it. Megan Wolfenden. Oh, if Megan listens to this, she's going to kill me. Yeah, I'd definitely have her come and speak.
Amazing. Well, I'd
Particularly
love
around.
for you to recommend her, because for me, I think, the biggest part is, having conversations. And it's not until we start talking to people do we not only recognize the gifts that they have, and everybody in the world has a gift. Everyone has a story that could literally change somebody else's life. And that's what I'm all about. Like, stories change people's lives. So I am so, so grateful for you guys to share your story inside our next issue of Inspire magazine, and wait till you read it. Like, honestly, it was just, I was nearly crying. Like, I'm sitting there going, oh my God, like, these are my people. These are the people, they get me. They understand my vision, and, you know, we're so aligned. So I am so grateful for both of you. You are also part of our sponsorship, like supplying us with our trophies for the Inspire Awards, which I am forever grateful for it, so that we can celebrate amazing change makers. And yeah, so thank you so much. And yeah, what you're doing for the community, I think, you know, is the ripple effect. I don't think you guys will actually realize until the next couple of years, because, you know, when people start talking about this trophy and the experience, like, I talk about the experience of going in there going, I run this award, and then, you know, Ross is going, oh, we could put this together and this together and this together, and it like bring my vision to life. And it's not just choosing a trophy off the shelf, it was bringing the vision, the essence of what the awards were about. So, you know, what you are both doing for the community, and to bring that, I just want to say thank you so much, because it's not just an award, it is about bringing that whole essence. And, you know, what the trophy, as I said, it's that legacy piece, and it's part of someone's story as well. So thank you so much for both of you. Thank you for being on the show, sharing your gifts. We're going to pop all the details of how you can reach out to them. They are so helpful and friendly. So if you've gotten awards, you know, please reach out to Matt and Roz at Logan City Trophies, and they will definitely be able to help you. And we'll drop the issue of Inspire magazine very soon for all of you to read. So thank you, Roz and Matt, for being on the show today and sharing your gifts with us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, you're both so welcome. And to all of you sitting here and watching this episode, please remember to live life to the fullest every single day. Love and light to you all.